Barbara was everything what we wished for. She was a legend, and she is still part of our DNA. We carry her heritage every single day. And to be at Tribeca and to show the world what she actually meant for the TV industry, for the journalism, and to ABC News, it means everything to me. I couldn't be more proud of everything what she has done, and I'm sure she will be very happy to see so many familiar faces today to celebrate her. I know she wasn't much into celebration of herself. She was really very much focused on her work, and her work spoke for her as well. And I hope a lot of people will seeing this documentary tonight will recognize that, like, what a tremendous legacy she left to us, and that heritage I mentioned earlier that we have to carry every single day, proudly in my case. I mean, you see this energy of, like, first of all, it's great to see so many familiar faces. It's great to see people who actually believe that what we do matter. They're making a great content and creating documentaries and creating art. In my case, news as well matters more now than ever. So Tribeca has always been kind of a highlight of the year for me, and I couldn't be more proud just to be again here today, especially with Barbara as well, because she's part of the family that I present.
I think her childhood. I mean, she lived in an extraordinary situation where her father was both on top of the world as this incredible impresario who ran the Latin Quarter, this fantastic showbiz shrine. And then he was bankrupt, didn't have a penny. And I think that living through the ups and downs of her family life gave her kind of tenacity that is what I don't know many women who could have done what Barbara Walters did. And without her, when you see a woman in network news, just think the door was open because of Barbara Walters. There's just no question about that. Oh, her irreverence and her, she wanted to dish. She wanted to know everything that was going on. She was a supporter and also a critic. She didn't let you get away with anything. And her kind of authenticity is hard to find in this business. So I think, to have someone who's going to tell you the good news and the bad news in your life, she was really important to me. She's the reason that I went to ABC. I mean, she literally said to Roone Arledge in front of me, "This girl is the future, I am the past, hire her." And the next day I got a job offer. So thank you, Barbara. She said I owed her 10% for life. I didn't pay the money, but I hope I made good in our friendship.
Why, Barbara Walters, you can't talk about American broadcast news without talking about Barbara Walters. I think her story is timeless, and it's also important in a time when the media is changing so much all the time to understand where we came from. I mean, I couldn't think of a better place to have this film premiere than Tribeca. It's fancy, it's glittering, it's full of celebrities. Barbara would have loved it. And it's in New York. I think that, she was the kind of person who could convince anyone, dictator, celebrity, whoever, to sit down with her. And a lot of that, I think, in the early days was just footwork. It was just working the Rolodex, making the phone calls. I mean, but eventually she became more famous than the people she was interviewing. So I think, she was able to hold such a cultural relevance for that reason. I mean, it was a really interesting challenge because there was so much incredible archival from ABC News, and just decades of it. But it was also a joy. I mean, we started with the archival and kind of worked backwards from there, I think that what kept Barbara sharp was that she really wanted to be on TV. She loved being on TV. She loved being in the limelight. Kept her motivated. Yeah, it was interesting because everyone knows who Barbara Walters is, but to actually feel like you know her is a different thing entirely. And that was kind of our goal, was to mine all the archive, figure out what little moments we could pull out that felt real, like she was being real. Oh, sure. Well, I can't say I was a perfect scholar of her personal life. I really didn't know all that much about it. And so I really thought her childhood was so fascinating. Growing up with a dad who ran a nightclub, meeting celebrities all the time, it kind of all makes sense.
I would love that. It's amazing, and this is an amazing turnout today for Barbara Walters, and it's so great that we get to screen this film about a woman who was absolutely fierce and knew how to open doors and keep doors open for other women. There's no question she was ambitious, and why not? I mean, why couldn't she do what the guys did? And she did it better. Closing is on Saturday, and can't wait for that, but lots of good stuff in between.
Well, I mean, she was like my mentor, almost a little kind of mommying me. The first time I remember she came on Good Morning America, she pulled me aside and said, "You're going to be fine here. Just don't try to fight for equality because it's not that time yet. Just take every little bit that they'll give you and make it shine, and you'll do just fine." She was awesome. But she was fierce. Let me tell you, she was fierce. And interestingly, I think she has said, I was doing it all for me, not because I was some big female advocate. But I think in the end, she realized what an impact she had made on all of us, and that she really was proud of that. When I started in Sacramento, California, at a little, NBC affiliate, one of my jobs was to watch her in the morning and get the news pieces I wanted off the Today Show. So, I mean, she was just my idol, and she became my mentor. She dazzled. I mean, she was one of those people that would walk in a room and everything kind of stopped.
Well, I mean, I have been able to sit in the shade of the tree that she grew, and she has literally blazed the trail for every female journalist out there, whether it's print, broadcast, and everything in between. But she was also an amazing woman. Just every time you encountered her, every time you talked to her, she would say something either very dry or very clever or very charming. And she was just a human being as well as a legend, and I think that's what you get in the documentary. Absolutely. I remember accidentally getting into an elevator that she was in and being completely intimidated. And I don't know that we actually shook hands, but I said hello, and that to me was like, Well, that she was driven for a lot of different reasons that the documentary gets into. But what I love is the archival footage and seeing her elbow the men out of the way to get her seat. And I think that's the way she did it, gracefully, charmingly, but she did it on behalf of so many women who came in her footsteps.
Barbara Walters has been a hero of mine since 5th grade. She is a pioneer. She was the person that my 5th grade teacher pointed to because she had a unique voice, and I had a very deep voice that I was bullied for. And my 5th grade teacher was a fan of Barbara Walters and said, there is a woman who's a great writer, who's a newscaster, that you should follow in her footsteps. And truly, honestly, that paved the way. That set the tone. That became my path. And it was Barbara Walters, who had this distinct voice, who has this never say die attitude when it came to getting the truth and getting a great story. And to become friends with her later in my career was a true gift. She became a mentor and a dear friend, and I am forever grateful to you, Barbara. Well, I think it's not what they're going to watch. I think everybody has a perceived notion of Barbara Walters as the newscaster who makes you cry, who does those 10 most fascinating people interviews, and then created The View, all incredible things in their own right. But what you will find out is that she is so much more than that. She was a friend, a protector, a pioneer for women, and just a total badass in every way.
I'm sorry.
I just got goosebumps thinking about her. She would come on to the set of Good Morning America and say the most wild things, but every one of them was true. She was unapologetic. She was who she is in every sense of the word, and honestly, I just can't thank her enough, not only for myself, but for all women in the business.
I'm thrilled to premiere here at Tribeca. It's a wonderful film. Barbara Walters was a groundbreaking journalist and trailblazer for women, so I'm really happy to be here with the film. I mean, she is the best of the best. I wish I had her guts to ask those kind of questions, so yeah.
What
I love the most about this film, I'm the executive producer on the ABC News side, ABC News Studio side. I was Barbara's last producer, and so what I particularly love about it, knowing Barbara, is its intimacy. It's told, the filmmaker, Jackie Jesko, told it really through the filter of in many interviews that were done with Barbara, and so it's very personal. And I love that because I don't think that any kind of profile can be what it needs to be without hearing it from the person's point of view. And I thought it's exceptional because of that.
And this is the storyteller.
Well, she is the ultimate groundbreaking woman, coming up in broadcast journalism at a time when it was, shall we say, a little bit chauvinistic. I mean, it was so male-dominated. It was so tough for her. She, even within our own family, struggled for that legitimacy because she was redefining a whole genre. I mean, she, as you'll see in the film, she crossed between celebrity journalism and journalism, from Fidel Castro to Taylor Swift. And she made that was something that was never done before. So she was groundbreaking that way. I say that if you really have passion for this business, for filmmaking, for documentary, for journalism, that you have to have her fierceness of spirit. Barbara had such a fierce heart. She was unstoppable. And that's what it takes, and that's why she was Barbara Walters. Never give up. She never stopped calling that last interview. She never stopped. I mean, Monica Lewinsky was the perfect example. Everybody was going for that. She figured out a way. She figured out a way through a back door and through the front door, and she would say, be unstoppable. There were just certain points of her life, of her career that were seminal. Her interviews with Fidel, her interviews with Nixon, the things that people don't really remember about the Sadat Begin interviews. These were really groundbreaking journalistic events. I mean, particularly that last one. I mean, it was like she was practically brokering peace in the Middle East. It's amazing. You bet, because she always asked the question. I think I'm actually borrowing from one of our interviewees, but she always asked the question that everybody wanted to know about, was a little bit scared to ask. So that's what made her Barbara.
Well, I think anyone who didn't live under a rock grew up watching Barbara Walters. The way she asked questions, again, not afraid of anything, and yet people felt the need to answer anything she asked. And there were always tears, and it was amazing. But the greatest influence she had on me was giving me the opportunity to sit at her table. Like, she made a table for 5 women from different generations, or different decades at least, different walks of life, to sit down and have something to say, and people were going to listen. And to have one of those seats is honestly the greatest privilege I've had in my professional career. I think the documentary will put all of her kind of power and presence in one place. We all remember Barbara Walters, but in one-off interviews. That moment, she was with Fidel Castro. That moment she interviewed Britney Spears. When you watch it all in one sweep, I think it's going to be overwhelming for people, because when we remembered her in her passing, we did kind of a montage. And as I saw it all in one place, the barrier she broke in regards to just the sexism of the people that sat next to her, you're uncomfortable watching it. Now to see all of this material in one place, I think it will be not sprinkles, it's like pouring the whole bottle on you. Everyone will get just how powerful, just how strong and broad her legacy is. Well, it's funny, there was like an irony to Barbara Walters. Like, she was going to ask you the hardest question, yet people wanted to be near her. Usually, if you're going to be the person that's going to put you in the hot seat, people run from you. They ran toward her. So it kind of tells you everything you need to know about her, and I think that's professionally and as a celebrity out in society. Everyone wanted a seat next to Barbara.
Barbara was a 1 in a million genius. She knew exactly what she wanted. She did it so beautifully. She knew the essence of facts, emotion, and television, like making a perfect creation of God. I mean, she really knew how to make good TV and make emotional TV and important TV. It's really very instinctive for many people. I mean, you learn it, but she knew it from her day one. It's so exciting. I mean, Barbara should be honored. Should be honored. because there's no one ever like her. No one since and before.
Well, I'm thrilled to be at the Tribeca Film Festival, the world premiere of this amazing documentary about Barbara Walters. She is an icon, a legend, not just in the broadcasting industry, but in American culture. She transcended just, television and was an institution in this country. And I think that the reason for that was because she saw something in newsmakers and celebrities and entertainers as newsmakers, as well as politicians and heads of state as newsmakers before anyone else really saw that opening. And she saw it and went for it in a way that only she could have. And we're all just trying to catch up because there's only one Barbara Walters. There only ever will be one Barbara Walters. But if we can do something even half as good as what she does on any given day, we're doing all right. Audiences will see in this documentary a woman of singular drive and talent and overall brilliance who had to make a lot of sacrifices professionally and personally and had to deal with a lot of adversity to get to where she got. But she was clear in her purpose and in her mission, and nothing would stop her.
I cannot wait to see this. I mean, it's just so much that she's influenced us as one of the hosts of The View. We're part of her legacy. We're at the table that she built, and just the idea that 28 seasons later, this show is still around. But also, my mom's a female journalist in California, so I grew up watching her. She was the original pioneer and trailblazer of women in journalism. So I'm just so proud that we could be kind of the small part of her legacy. You have to be fearless. She would ask the question others wouldn't ask, and I think also having empathy. She had a way that she connected with people. She made them feel comfortable, but she asked them oftentimes the uncomfortable questions. And as somebody with a seat at The View, we interview a lot of celebrities, which she did. She also interviewed incredibly important figures from Vladimir Putin to Saddam Hussein. This is a woman who did it all. So don't be afraid of the tough interviews, show empathy, and ask the hard questions. Who inspired her? Because when you're the first, it's kind of like, where did you learn it? And I wonder if there was someone who she looked up to, or if she kind of just trailed her own path.
Well, I don't think people knew her, personally like I did. She was actually a very, fun gal. She loves to tell a dirty joke like everybody else. She loved to have dinner parties and laugh and have fun. And I think that she was also a very good interviewer, very good. People today who are doing that job need to take a page from her book and ask the hard questions, even if you make them cry. Just hanging out with her after work was fun. Go to dinner with her, go to her house for dinner. She'd have people for dinner, and I would be invited, and she'd go around the table and ask everybody what they thought about who's going to be the next president, who's going to be the next vice president, and everybody had to speak. She held dinner parties as if she was at the UN. Well, she and I were palsy, I think, We liked each other. We were both New Yorkers. She grew up with comedians. I was a comedian. We got each other.